Once hunted to near extinction, the bison, often mistaken for buffalo, is now making a powerful comeback across North America. From roaming wild national parks to serving as lean red meat in modern kitchens, this ancient giant carries more than muscle. It holds history, survival, and surprising secrets. Today, we dive deep into the world of the American bison, from myth to meat, from past to present. Let's clear something up. The American bison is not a buffalo. While people often call it the buffalo, true buffalo live in Africa and Asia. Bison and buffalo are only distant relatives. The confusion started with early European settlers who saw these massive animals on the plains and used the closest word they knew. But scientifically, it's bison. Bison to be exact. Male bison, called bulls, can weigh up to 2,000 pounds and stand over 6 feet tall. That's heavier than a concert grand piano and taller than Michael Jordan. Female bison, or cows, weigh about half as much and stand around 4 to 5 feet. Despite their size, bison are incredibly agile. They can run up to 35 miles per hour, jump 6-foot fences, turn sharply, and swim across rivers. That combination of power and speed helped them survive in harsh climates and avoid predators like wolves, cougars, and bears. Bison live in herds, females and calves in one, males in another. During mating season, from June to September, the herds mix. After a 9-month pregnancy, female bison give birth to one calf, which is often called a red dog because of its reddish coat. These calves stay with their mothers for 2 to 3 years before young males join bachelor herds. While bison are usually calm, they can become aggressive quickly, especially mothers with calves. That's why park visitors are always warned to stay at least 25 feet away. In the 1800s, there were 30 to 60 million bison across North America. But with westward expansion came hunting, railroads, and land loss. Bison were killed in massive numbers, partly for sport, partly to suppress Native American populations who relied on them. By 1889, only a few hundred remained. Thanks to conservation efforts, including protection in national parks, the bison population has slowly rebounded. Today, about 500,000 bison live in North America, though only a small portion roam wild and free. Many bison today are raised on farms for meat. These bison live on large pastures where they graze freely, eating natural grasses just like their wild ancestors. Grass is their main diet, high in fiber and nutrition. A healthy adult bison eats around 24 pounds, or 11 kilograms of vegetation daily, roughly the weight of 2 bowling balls. Most farm-raised bison are grass-fed, which keeps the meat lean and natural. Despite their wild image, bison raised on farms receive regular health checks. Farmers and veterinarians use special equipment to keep them calm. Bison are guided gently into a narrow chute where they're inspected. Experts check their weight, ears, eyes, and hooves, and listen to their lungs and heartbeat. Vaccines are given if needed, and their body condition is monitored to ensure proper nutrition. These health systems blend modern animal care with deep respect for one of North America's most ancient creatures. Because bison are still wild at heart, handling them requires care and creativity. Farmers design curved pathways and use strong fences that follow the animals' natural movement patterns. These features reduce stress and keep both the animals and humans safe. Calm bison are healthier and easier to manage. And unlike cows, bison do not tolerate close contact. They like space, freedom, and a bit of distance. Did you know there's a type of red meat that's lower in fat than beef and packed with protein? It's bison meat. Many chefs and health-conscious eaters love it for its tender texture and slightly sweet, rich flavor. Because it has less fat, it cooks faster and offers a high-protein, low-fat alternative to traditional red meats. Most bison meat comes from grass-fed animals, making it not only delicious, but also more sustainable and natural. For Native American tribes, the bison was more than food, it was life. Every part of the animal was used: meat for eating, hides for clothing and shelter, bones for tools, even stomachs for water storage. The Great Bison Slaughter of the 1800s wasn't just ecological, it was cultural. Today, many tribes are leading the way in bison restoration, bringing the animal back to tribal lands and heritage. Though no longer endangered, bison still need protection. Habitat fragmentation, interbreeding with cattle, and lack of wild space are ongoing concerns. Yet conservation groups, indigenous nations, and modern farmers are working together to ensure a strong future for this magnificent creature. From Yellowstone to sustainable ranches, the bison remains a living monument to strength, endurance, and recovery. The American bison is more than a symbol, it's a story of survival against all odds, of ancient herds' broken silence and healing. Whether running free across the plains or quietly grazing in open pastures, the bison reminds us that even when nature is pushed to the edge, it can return, stronger, wilder, and more alive than ever. Steel cage traps are widely promoted as one of the best solutions for controlling wild boars. But if that's true, why are these animals still tearing through farms, forests, and neighborhoods across the United States and beyond? Could it be that we're using the right tools, but the wrong way? Wild boars have become one of the most destructive invasive species in the United States. Back in 1990, their population hovered around 2 million. But by 2019, that number had exploded to nearly 9 million, now spreading across at least 39 states. Their spread isn't just a US problem. Countries like Australia, Germany, and Spain are also struggling to keep their wild boar populations under control. But in the US, the challenge is particularly severe due to the sheer scale of the country and the boar's rapid reproduction rate. These animals can cause up to $1.5 billion in crop and land damage every single year. To even keep their numbers from increasing, at least 60% of the population must be eliminated annually in each region. Fall short, and the numbers surge. Recognizing the threat, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, and several state governments have invested millions into control programs. Texas and Oklahoma have even approved the use of the feral hog poison kaput starting in 2024. Despite these aggressive tactics, one method remains the most widely used and accessible: steel corral traps. But there's a problem, a big one. While these traps are incredibly effective in theory, many farmers use them incorrectly, and wild boars, they're far smarter than most people think. So what makes a corral trap ideal, at least on paper? Size matters. These circular steel traps, usually 30 to 40 feet, 9 to 12 meters in diameter, are built to capture an entire sounder, a family group of wild boars, in one go. Height is critical. To prevent boars from jumping out, Trap walls must be at least 5 feet, 1.5 meters high. Remote triggered gates. These allow trappers to wait until the entire group is inside before closing the gate. Manual triggers often fail by catching just a few individuals. Material strength. Thin wire or weak materials won't cut it. Wild boars are strong and agile. Only solid steel panels can withstand their strength. When properly deployed, corral traps can be highly efficient. But when mishandled, they become expensive, empty cages. According to research from Texas A&M University, location is everything. Even a perfectly designed trap will fail if placed in the wrong spot. Successful placements share a few key traits. Close to water sources or mud wallows, along established hog travel paths, in areas showing hoof prints, uprooted soil, or wallowing marks. One of the most common errors is placing a trap and immediately setting it to trigger. But boars are cautious. Experts recommend pre-baiting the area with corn or fruit for 3 to 7 days, leaving the gate open during this time, letting hogs enter and exit freely so they feel safe. This builds familiarity and trust. Without it, boars may avoid the trap altogether. While corn is the most widely used bait, its effectiveness can be supercharged. Fermented corn, soak it in water for a week. The strong, sour smell is highly attractive to hogs. Seasonal fruit, watermelons, peaches, and apples work particularly well in hot weather. High-protein lures. These are helpful for drawing in larger sounders during winter months. A farmer in Texas successfully captured 28 hogs in one night using fermented corn near a creek. Right technique, right results. Feral hogs are active mostly at night, between 8 p.m. and 4 a.m. During the pre-baiting phase, the gate must remain open. Only once you observe that at least 80% of the sounder is entering the trap should you consider triggering it. If you act too soon, you might only catch a few and scare off the rest permanently. Another overlooked detail is what happens after the trap is triggered. Hogs inside the trap may squeal loudly, sending a danger signal to others nearby. If not removed quickly, this can cause the remaining boars to permanently avoid the area. Rapid processing is essential. Collect trapped animals immediately after the drop. This isn't just about trapping, it's about maintaining the illusion of safety for the rest of the herd. Wild boars are quick learners. If traps stay in the same place too long, even the most effective setup can be rendered useless. That's why relocating traps every few months is key. It disrupts their memory patterns and keeps them guessing. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The tools aren't failing. We are. Cage traps, especially corral traps, do work. But wild boars are smart, adaptive, and fast-breeding. When we underestimate their intelligence or skip key steps, we give them the upper hand. With proper knowledge, consistent technique, and attention to behavior, we can turn the tide in this ongoing battle. Steel cage traps are not a silver bullet, but they can be a powerful part of the solution. The secret lies not in the equipment, but in the execution. By studying the animals, respecting their patterns, and refining our methods, we can restore balance to damaged farmlands and ecosystems. Have you ever dealt with feral hogs? What worked and what didn't? Share your story in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden truths behind the world's biggest challenges in farming, wildlife, and conservation. Have you ever wrapped yourself in a soft wool sweater or enjoyed a tender lamb dish and wondered, where did this come from? What if I told you that behind every cozy fabric and every flavorful cut lies a global journey powered by 1.2 billion sheep? Today, we will follow these gentle creatures from green pastures to high-tech factories and uncover how sheep quietly shape both the fashion and food industries. At sunrise, sheep roam across vast, open pastures, grazing calmly in the fresh morning air. This is the beginning of their journey, where natural cycles and human care quietly intersect. Farmers manage these grasslands with precision, ensuring access to clean water, rotational grazing, and balanced nutrition. Each sheep is regularly monitored for health, behavior, and growth. Newborn lambs are checked for weight and vitality within hours of birth, while older sheep follow seasonal feeding plans tailored to wool production or meat quality. Routine grooming, hoof trimming, and parasite control maintain overall welfare. Identification tags help track medical history and productivity. From these peaceful fields, the foundation is laid for everything that follows: fine wool, quality meat, and global supply chains that begin with quiet care on the land. As spring arrives, it's time for sheep to shed their winter coats. Before shearing begins, each sheep is inspected for health and fleece quality. Only animals in good condition proceed to the shearing area. Shearing is performed using high-powered electric clippers with sharp blades. A skilled shearer can process up to 25 sheep per hour. Precision is key. Each movement follows the contours of the body, removing the fleece in a single, clean pass without injuring the animal. Once removed, the wool is immediately sorted. The finest fibers, usually from the back and sides, are packed into large bales, sealed, and prepared for transport to textile processing facilities. Wool bales are then loaded onto transport trucks and shipped to processing facilities. There, workers sort them again by fineness, length, crimp, cleanliness, and color. The wool enters large scouring tanks, where hot water and detergents remove grease and impurities. After scouring, centrifugal extractors remove excess moisture before the wool is transferred to drying machines set between 50 and 70 degrees Celsius. Drying typically takes 4 to 6 hours and must preserve fiber integrity. Once dry, the wool is opened, loosened, and fluffed before carding. Carding aligns the fibers into soft, continuous strands known as slivers. For high-quality wool, an additional combing stage removes short fibers, producing top wool with consistent length and smoothness. The slivers are spun into yarn using high-capacity spinning machines. During this stage, tension and thickness are carefully controlled to maintain uniformity. Each machine can produce up to 200 kilograms of yarn daily. The yarn is processed into fabric through weaving or knitting. In weaving, automated looms interlace threads to form textiles in long, even bolts. Knitting, whether by machine or hand, produces items like sweaters, socks, and scarves, offering flexibility in design and texture. This is the path from fleece to finished product, soft, warm, and ready for markets around the world. While wool travels to the textile industry, some sheep enter the food supply chain. At modern lamb processing plants, sheep are handled using systems that balance automation with human skill. Workers begin by removing the hide, especially around complex areas like legs and joints, before automated cutters divide the carcass into uniform cuts. Temperature-controlled environments preserve meat freshness. Vacuum-sealed packaging ensures hygiene and extends shelf life, readying each cut for global distribution. Before sheep are exported live, they undergo strict pre-departure checks. Weight, health status, and adaptability are all assessed. Once cleared, they board multi-tiered livestock transport trucks with anti-slip flooring, ventilation systems, and in some cases, automated water dispensers. Each truck can carry up to 600 sheep. At the port, sheep are loaded onto specialized ships using gradual ramp systems designed to minimize stress. Livestock vessels feature 5 to 7 decks and can transport up to 70,000 sheep per voyage. Onboard systems regulate temperature with misting units, while veterinarians monitor health and behavior continuously. Sheep consume over 12 tons of feed and 21,000 gallons of water daily during transit. Upon reaching their destination, the sheep are unloaded under supervision. They enter local farms, processing facilities, or breeding programs depending on their purpose. Their journey, often thousands of miles, ensures a steady global supply of both wool and meat. From grazing fields in Australia to markets in the Middle East or textile mills in Europe, sheep continue to fuel essential global industries. From the quiet hills where sheep graze under open skies to the controlled precision of factory floors, the journey of sheep is both ancient and modern. It is a process shaped by human care, refined by technology, and sustained by global demand. Wool, once a raw layer of protection, becomes elegant textiles worn in cities across the world. Meat, once grown slowly in peaceful fields, is prepared with care and served in kitchens that span cultures. And in every step, grazing, shearing, sorting, spinning, shipping, there is intention, timing, and invisible coordination. Sheep are more than livestock. They are a thread running through the fabric of global industry, quietly linking tradition and innovation, nature and commerce. Their journey isn't just about where they begin, but how far they go and how many hands and systems guide them along the way. This is the story behind the materials we wear, the food we share, and the quiet efficiency that powers it all.